I start every show off the same, and it never fails. I usually come on and I say, if you're suffering from a mental disability or a mental illness or something to that effect, and then someone brought something to my attention. It was the emotions and the feelings of those who are left behind by decisions made from those they love, where they were not even given a chance to help. If you are listening to this podcast right now, and you don't know how to help people who are suffering from a mental disability, who may be battling inner demons, the greatest thing you can do is be silent. To listen is to be the greatest gift you can ever give them, so they can be felt heard. They don't need you to fix it. They don't need you to be their savior. They need someone to listen and reassure them that it's going to be okay. If you have ever lost anyone to suicide, this phone line is not just for people who are thinking about taking their lives. It's for the survivors of those who have taken them. If you are one of those people, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. And if you are one of those people who have thought about taking your life, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Because I cannot say it enough that you matter. I cannot say it enough that I care. I cannot say it enough that you are important. It is okay and perfectly normal for you to have a bad day or not to feel like that everything is not going right. What is not okay is for you to sit in your silence and think that this is a war that you have to battle alone. If you don't feel comfortable contacting that number, or you don't feel safe contacting that number, then feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media feeds, and I will 100% make myself available to you. Simply put in there, I need to talk, and I will be here to fight this battle with you. You don't have to do this alone. Let's stand up. Let's roar up. What's going on, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another Fear Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. And obviously, if you've seen the picture, you know what it is. We're talking about Calvin Johnson and a host of other things related to the Lions, because I have to give you my rundown on my experience at Ford Field on Saturday. Yes, I had quite the experience. And I know that there's been so many other fellow Lions fans and YouTubers who have shared their opinion. Mine's going to be a little bit different, okay? But I just want you to bear with me. We're going to have to talk about that. We got to talk about the Calvin Johnson Detroit Lion debacle. We're going to have to talk about the Jared Goff. God, I find myself in this line of conversation too often. But we got to talk about it, that and a host of other things. Let's see who's in the building with me today, who came in to rock with your boy. We got, let me see, Barberry Lion in the building. CJ's in the building. We got Izzy 777. He says, question, Luke, when you were a boy, did you look like Corey from Corey in the House? $25 depend on it. Oh my God, no. We got AB in the building. We got Matthew Ferguson, Southwest Lions in the building. We got Dre Burns in the building. Dr. Papa Roney in the building. We got my brothers from another mother, Roar of the Lions UK. Man, they had the whole crew on a day, and I was trying everything in my power to listen while at work, and it just seemed like I couldn't get no let up. And I was like, I'm gonna have to be part of the rewatch game. It is what it is. We got Old Timer Dave in the building. Shout out to him. I haven't seen him in a long time. We got Ken in the building. Frederick Jackson is in the building. We got, Matthew Ferguson, Rams House, One Funky Lions fan. We got Matthew Stafford's burner account. CJ is in the building as well. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody now. We got D-Map Zune in the building. Let me see. We got Iowa Lion. I don't know why I love the way that sounds. It just sounds dope as crap to me. Iowa Lion. We got D in the building. Big West Kevin in the building. Let me see. Who else we got? Who else we got? Lion King is in the building. Make sure I don't forget nobody. first things first. Calvin Johnson is inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is not news to anybody, right? However, there were some things in Calvin Johnson's speech that I kind of took with a grain of salt, and I kind of got irritated. And so those statements were what led me to some decisions. Bless me, excuse me. Dominique Davis in the building. Bless me, excuse me. Jesus, what in the world am I sneezing so much for? All right. So listen, I'm going to do this two ways. One, I'm going to do it from the Calvin Johnson perspective. And I'm going to do it from the business perspective. Now, Calvin Johnson gave a speech, and I got to be honest, I didn't want to watch it. I didn't, because part of me felt like, at what point is enough? But I said, you know what? Let me try to find. You allergic to the Calvin Johnson? Might be. Like the way I walked away from it was feeling a little irritated. Now, it's this part that stood out to me. Michigan is our home. Detroit is our city. And Lions fans are our pride. Now, maybe I look into stuff way too deep. Maybe I'm probably too sentimental. But I believe words have power. And these words were powerful in my opinion, because if Michigan is your home, if Detroit is your city, and the Lions fans are your pride, then do what the hell we need you to do to be a part of the pride. And what that is fix this problem. Whatever it is, just tell them exactly what they need to do to fix it. If the issue is I need that 1.6 million back. Okay, are you going to take that 1.6 million back and still be a part of the flock? Because we enjoy seeing Barry Sanders. We enjoy seeing Chris Spielman. We enjoy seeing Herman Moore and Lomas Brown. These are our Lions greats. We want to see them just like we want to see you. If we are your pride, are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of your pride for the pride, aka the fans? Nobody wants to see Calvin Johnson in any other jersey. Nobody wants to see Calvin Johnson. I mean, think about it. Let's be honest. Calvin Johnson signed a contract. I cannot say this enough. This is me giving you the business side of it. And I'm using his words against him. He signed a contract. Now, in that whole speech, he kept talking about pain. He admits he's been hurting since his rookie season when he had that back injury. Right? He admits that. Right? So kudos to him. He talked about the drive of the fan base and how even when they was 0-16, we showed up. You damn Skippy. Now we're showing up again, and we're asking you to fix it. We're asking you to figure out a way to make it work. Nobody wants to see you do this and play around over 1.6 million. Now, this is the business side of me talking, because you signed a contract that you was perfectly fine signing, that made you the highest paid receiver, and if I'm not mistaken, a top 3 paid player in the league. It was one of the most wealthiest contracts at the time. You had no problem signing that. But what did you think was going to happen when you retired? You see, when a team decides on a contract that's been signed, they say we can cut you, and they take a cap hit. That's the penalty for releasing you. So that's kind of like an incentive for them to keep you. But let's put this in perspective. If I literally say that I'm going to contract somebody to paint my house, and you paint one wall, you damn Skippy, I need my money back. Now, mind you, this is me taking the business side of it. Now, watch me as I join Calvin Johnson on his side of it. I've given everything I could to this city, which is a fair statement. I get it. And at the very least, you shouldn't have asked me for it. Now, why is it? Why is it that you would ask me for it, and then you would turn around and offer me a deal that evolves around me getting 28 hours a week. I'm sorry, 28 hours a year for $500,000 over the next 3 years. And so his attitude is I don't want y'all to put me in a contract to make me do appearances and to show up and all this. I just want my money back and we good. But this is the thing. Calvin Johnson, without it being the Detroit Lions, is not the same. You're going to do an appearance as Calvin Johnson, and in most cases, without that jersey, nobody cares. It's just the truth. Look at Brett Favre and Jerry Rice with carpet fit. It's not the same looking at a bunch of guys in t-shirts telling something, I feel better with carpet fit. Nobody cares. I want to see the guy that brings back memories when he has his jersey on. That's what I want to see. But I also understand, why do I have to now work to get the money that I already work for? And why is it that the only way I can get my money is it comes with this stipulation for me to do work? It should be, if I want to do it, I'll do it. And if I don't, I don't. But if they smart and they really care about me, they should already know that I'm trying to promote a business. Give me my 1.6, which helps my business. And then I'll come to every event and promote whatever, because that promotes my business, which promotes me. You essentially get the same thing anyway. Now back to the business side of it. When you sign that contract, I could have took 3.8 million. I took 1.6. I have a cap to maintain. I have certain things I have to maintain. And when you did it, it wasn't like you did anything outside of that. You were having issues towards the end of your career. You were getting hurt. You were turning the ball over. You clearly wasn't the same. You were missing games on a regular. Now, I say both of those to say this in closing. According to him, Michigan is his home. Detroit is his city. And the Lions fans are his pride. And the pride wants you back in the fold. Because whether you know it or not, Calvin, the pride is in the fold. We are invested in the Lions. And we want you to get back to the Lions. The same way we wanted Barry. You ain't the first one that this happened to. And you're not on the level of a Barry. Yeah, I know you was first ballot high. But Barry's all-time great. Barry is something that is one of one. You're one of many. All we're asking is, if what you're saying and your words are true, then find out whatever it takes to get it fixed. The second thing I want to point out is all the talks of, y'all notice he didn't thank Matthew Stafford. Let me go ahead and dispel this ridiculous statement. He invited him. Like I don't understand this. He invited him. He invited him, Stephen Tulloch. He had Rob Sims, his business partner, there. He had most of his damn team there. They were invited. If the invitation wasn't enough acknowledgement that you mattered to me, why does it have to be an individual thing? Why does it have to be something? This is where I don't understand where Lions fans are coming from. Like, why? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And the worst part about it is the amount of people pushing the story, oh, he dissed the Lions because he never mentioned them. Yes, he did. No matter how you look at it, perspective is everything. The moment he made this following statement right here, Lions fans are our pride. You can dissect that and say he was talking about the fans, but they're fans of who? The Detroit Lions. And the last time I checked, they're the only damn Lion team in the NFL. We have to find a way to stop overlooking small things. But he says that we're the pride. Well, the pride wants you back. Because whether he know it or not, the moment he jumps back into the pride 100% full fold, people who don't even buy weed gonna buy his weed. People who love weed gonna buy his weed. And it'll be promoted no matter what. But it's about that statement. Now, I got to get to some more updated news. Detroit Lions have added a wide receiver. I know, shocking, right? That wide receiver is Darius Jennings. He played for the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. Jennings did not have like this prolific career. I'm not going to act like he was something special, but he was needed. When I went to the practice on Saturday, there was a lot of receivers not on that damn field. Quintez Cephas, Brad Perry, not Brad. Lord, I called his father's name out. Shoot, Brashard Perryman. I didn't see Tyrell Williams, but what I did see, I cannot wait to get into. And now, in the midst of this, they also activated Jalen Reeves-Maybin off of the COVID list, so that's a good thing. And then they released a running back. And the running back that they released was Drake. What is his damn name? Drake. God, I'm drawing a blank on dude's name already. What the hell was Drake's last name? It'll come to me if I just stop thinking about it. Anyway, they released a running back. Now, I have some personal views on this particular running back. And I'm gonna give him to you the way I see him fit. Jackson, thank you. It's Center Drake Jackson. Jesus. I'm tired, people. Center Drake Jackson. So, but yeah, so I'm basically sitting up here looking at this news and I'm like, oh, what is this? And I want to say camp body so bad. I want to say it's so bad, but it's not. We need it. Like, we got injuries. They also are in the midst of bringing in Nick Roby. Nick Roby, what the hell you pronounce this damn dude name? Coleman. Nick Roby Coleman. Okay. They bringing him in. And at first I thought, oh, what does this mean? This means that they disappointed in the slot corners. And then it dawned on me that, yeah, I don't remember seeing Corey Elder out there. I don't remember seeing Quentin Dunbar out there. The starting corners for the most part were Oruwariye and Okudah with Mike Ford and an occasional cornerback sprinkle in. But I don't remember. And with the amount of injuries that they have, I'm like, yeah, if you bring the guy in and you sign him, we need it. Right? This is what this boils down to. We need it. But how does this all bring me to a point of the practice? Okay. I went to Ford Field on Saturday. It was me, my son. It was his first time going to Ford Field or any stadium for that matter, and he loved every bit of it. And we had a really good time. Now, the first thing I want to point out is we have a problem with this fan base. I mean, a really bad problem with this fan base, because my first observation is these fans are absolutely delusional. Keep in mind, people, we're talking about practice. Say it with me. Practice. Not a game. Practice. Okay? And I'm listening to these fans sit behind me and off to my left, screaming, throw the ball deep. Throw the ball deep. I even heard one fan yell out, defense, watch the slant. It's freaking practice. It's not a game. This is not preseason. This is not regular season. It's practice. It was 7-on-7. Do you have any idea what it looks like for a guy to be screaming, watch the slant in practice? I can't say it enough. It's in practice. And then it got me to thinking. The last time I came to Ford Field, they was throwing the ball deep. And I was like, oh, okay, what'd that get us? Oh, okay, 6-10, 3-13-1, or was it 3-12-1, whatever it was. And then we got 5-11. They threw the ball deep under Matt Patricia. But I also noticed this. The Lions are strategically not showing those plays. They're not showing you, the fans or media, the plays. Now, I will tell you that those annoying fans who was doing that was beyond annoying because they could not help themselves. However, The atmosphere was amazing. The amount of people who showed up, partaking things, people doing karaoke, playing games outside, it was beautiful to see. If that's the kind of turnout we got for indoor practice, I can only imagine what that first game going to be like. I mean, Roger Goodell showed up. Roger Goodell showed up, was signing autographs, taking photos. Sheila Ford is signing footballs and throwing them into the crowd. When have you seen that atmosphere? Everybody's involved. Brad Hall, everybody's involved for the fans. Like, you don't see this. You don't see this kind of stuff. And I'm watching all of this and I'm going, this is a great atmosphere. And it took a few idiots to yell out some stupid stuff. Like there's one guy who apparently is the coach. You got to run it up the middle in 7-on-7. Stay with me. 7-on-7. Run it up the middle? You can't make this stuff up. You can't. You have people trying to create the wave. I was like, this is practice. I mean, now, I know that a lot of people was fired up because Dan Campbell gave a passionate speech, right? Oh my God. Listen. Boy, Jimbo G is Patty, man. But stay with me. They were literally screaming, run up the middle. 7-on-7. And I was in the spot where they were showing like the battle of the offensive versus the defensive lineman. Anzarike went against, I want to say it was Jonah Jackson and Logan Steinberg. He literally took one arm and bench pressed them back. I was like, yo, what the like now Jonah held it. He held it like a boss. But to see that level of extension while working your way back, I was like, oh, snap. Then I saw a rap with McNeil going against Ragnow. Ragnow, he stuffed it dead in his tracks. I saw Julian Okora show some great speed and pass rush moves. I saw Jeff Okuda do something that I was very critical of him when he came out of college. And that was, you're always in press position, but you never put a hand on them. Now he's trying to beat the brakes off of you at the line of scrimmage, and I love it. I love it. I saw him in trail position, and it wasn't a complete like killer of a trail position on a slant and inside route. These are things that I killed him on that look so much more improved. Now, some of y'all going to say, but he wasn't going against real receivers. Stop playing with me. That Khalif Raymond is fast. I had no clue how fast that dude is until he made that cut and got to the outside. And I was like, oh, that shit real. That's real. Okay. He said, yeah, you eat some curl on Okuda, Luke. Then let it happen. Let it happen. But I noticed that every route that they called were strategically called in a way to force the quarterback to throw the ball in coverage. The one deep pass came from a backup quarterback, Tim Boyles, which I'm not sure why he thought this was a good idea, but he tried to throw the ball deep to a receiver who's probably about 5'9". I don't know why he thought this was going to work. You was at least 20 yards away from the end zone. You went for it, I guess, but he was being blanketed by freaking Iffy. Like, could you imagine this? Iffy like 6'2", with a 5'9" receiver. You throwing the ball deep to him. That's bad decision making, in my opinion. But what can I say? Another thing that stood out to me from that practice was the running back Warren. He got to go. I don't understand during the live scrimmage. I don't understand how he was running into the backs of linemen. Like, he just didn't see the cutback lanes and he didn't see the holes. Jamal Williams did. Swift, didn't see too much of him like that, but it was okay. That other guy from Nebraska, what is his damn name? It'll come to me in a minute. The guy from Nebraska, he showed good vision, but Warren just looked like he didn't see it like he was supposed to. That's what I know that dude is practice, but you should have saw this fan base, bro. You should have saw this fan base yelling, "Throw the ball deep, bro." Telling people to run the ball up the middle on 7-on-7. You should have saw it, bro. Like you should have saw like this one dude literally was moving around. And he was literally, they was throwing the footballs to the stands, and he was like, after kids in the front, I'm gonna get this ball. Like it was it was the smallest football I ever seen in my life. Like you could put it on your keychain small. And they was like, I'm gonna get this ball. I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. But I do believe Mills, thank you. That's his name, Detroit fan, man. Mills. Yeah, Mills look like he might have a chance. He gonna still make the practice squad, but I like what I saw out of him. Now, oh, I see y'all in rare form tonight. But I went through and I looked at it and I said, Jared Goff took everything the defense gave him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, some of them inside routes, he had this one inside route that he broke in, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nasty." And Kuda recovered like a boss. I was like, "Oh, snap, okay." And then he had another one. Where he ran it like it's kind of I can't forget the name of this route. He ran out a little bit, but he broke it back in. He did it so scant to where it was like the cornerback really could not help but let his momentum carry him away. And he caught the pass. So I saw a lot of good things, but I also saw somebody who was keeping everything under wraps and conservative. They know that it was media there. I was sitting behind them. I was talking to Jeremy Rison from Prowl of Detroit. I was talking to them. I was talking to all the different people who was there. And they were like, "Oh, so you're Luke?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Luke." And we're having a conversation and stuff. And I'm looking, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't show them nothing either, because they basically told every freaking thing they saw in the damn practice. So I see why they didn't show a lot of things. Like, it made sense to me. A pivot route. Thank you. This shit was cold. It was cold. I mean, had the whole cornerback like, "Oh, I got this," and left him looking stupid sitting by himself. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm tired. Now, stay with me. I'm at this practice and I'm taking it all in. And I'm doing all this while being on dead duty, right? And my son is enjoying every bit of it. He's cheering for them. Every time they catch a ball, he's cheering for them. But I saw people who would drop a pass and they would do push-ups. And I went, "Oh, yeah, I like that self-discipline." And I saw times where people like Will Harris, who got a penalty. But for the most part, Will Harris was going up. Excuse me, he was going up against TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson killed him every time. And it's not his fault. I hate to say it this way. It really wasn't his fault. The way that some of those plays were designed, TJ was going to always be open, especially in the end zone. Darren Fells is huge. Darren Fells, I think, might be taller than Sewell. Like it looked real significant. Like Andre the Giant met like somebody smaller. Like I was like, damn, he's big. So I saw all these good things, but the biggest thing that I saw was people who had the presence in mind, the coaches who had the presence in mind not to show anything. Now, Aaron Glenn is a different beast. He cussed out everybody. I'm not bullying. If you got beat on a rep, he came directly to you every single time and cursed you out. And then took you out and put somebody else in. You'll get your reps later. They are not playing, people. They are not joking. And when the time comes, I'm guaranteeing that they're going to show you the deep pass. But there was nobody to throw the ball deep to at practice that day. We had Surratt, who, in my opinion, I just thought that he ran a good route here and there, but it was like that. Like his field awareness wasn't where it should be at this point. Like I just didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. There was a few plays where, I'm going to be honest, Goff would have been sacked. Right? And it's because of how that defense came. But I'm also going to be honest when I say there was a few plays where Jared Goff looked like he had took command and understood what needed to happen, where he rolled out and threw a nice little dime to the receiver. I'm convinced that Victor Bott not making this team, it seemed like every time the ball was thrown to him, he had to jump up to get it or he fell down trying to catch it. That 5'8" hurting him. He need like a few more inches. But I get it. I 100% get it. Now, let me switch gears a little bit because this is the other part of it that really, that really got me to thinking. This whole practice, as it's going on, they're subbing people in, they're subbing people out. I'm looking at different formations. I'm looking at different packages and where they're lining people up. Iffy needs to work on some things. He had a few good plays where he broke some balls up, but Iffy to me was one of the guys that stood out where I walked away and said, yeah, he needs a little bit more work. So let him. I see why he's on the twos. I see why. Ellis Anzalone. Yeah, we can upgrade him. I know it's practice, but we can upgrade him. I felt like at times he was a little too slow to his spot. And so, but for the most part, people, let me just tell you, if you're worried about the deep pass, don't be. They are purposely not doing it. They're forcing the quarterback to get used to throwing the ball in traffic under pressure, which is something else I noticed. They were consistently bringing like 4 to 5 people from different angles. That's what I saw. And it was impressive. And I was happy to see that. Okay. But to the fans who were screaming, for the fans who were screaming, run it up the middle. And 707, to the fans who was screaming at the offensive versus defensive line battle, and they were screaming stuff like "hold the block," and I'm like, "It's okay, okay." Okay. I don't know what to tell you. The biggest thing that I came away from that practice, though, and it's the biggest thing before I switch topics, we got a problem with our damn kicker, and it's serious. And I mean, it is serious. I don't even care that they missed the 54 and a 50-yard field goal. Don't even care. Them balls wasn't even near a damn goalpost. It was either short or left or right. We got a problem there, people. Like, safety is bad, but God, we got a problem with this kicker. The only thing I can think of is the Lions are probably thinking we better score a lot of points because this kickers, if we got a kick from 50 yards out, just go ahead and punt. I'm telling you right now, these kickers we may have taken Prater for granted. The same way we took Jason Hansen for granted. We may have taken him for granted because I can tell you right now that they were kicking this ball and there was nobody on the field with them. Nobody was rushing. And it was just them and the field goal before the practice really started. They was trying to get warmed up, and that ball came up short every single time. I cannot make this up. And if it didn't come up short, it came up short and wide left or right. I was very disgusted at that because you got one job, kick the damn ball. And this ball, like, it wasn't hitting the uprights. It wasn't hitting off the bottom pole. The only kick that looked like decent came from Fox. Every other kick that came from one of them kickers, Bullock, that other dude, I don't even remember his damn name, they weren't even near it 50 yards out. We got to be 45 and closer, or we not even, and even still at 45 and closer, I'm not confident enough that it won't go left or right. Like, that's how bad the kicking was to me. Like, I know it's practice, But it's really bad for a kicker in practice with nobody in front of you. Ball snap to you, you run up and you kick it. How in the hell 50 yards out is short? 50? That's like almost standard in the NFL. I'm just saying. Luke, I know it's early for questions. Will Pittman, Hamilton, Jacobs, and Raymond make the final three? Jacobs, I do not think. I think he'll be practice squad. Hamilton is making a hard case for it. I am not playing with you. He's making him and Pittman are making hard cases for it. Gonna be up to what Jalen Reeves-Maybin do in this preseason. He got to show that he's smarter than them, because if not, his injury is gonna cost him his job. Let me see. Are we basing this team on emotion or talent? Too many experts to be wrong. I'm basing this team off of talent in history, because that's what I go by. I go by talent, history, and information that I have, whether that be current stats, current game field, previous game field, whatever it is. I will use all that and come to my own consensus on what I'm seeing. TJ looks like an actual lion. I thought he looked like a Viking. Like if you played the Assassin's Creed Viking one, that was Valhalla, whatever it was, he looks like one of them dudes. I was like, okay. Lions need to sign Justin Young at kicker. I don't give a care who they sign. We need one. I don't know how you miss 50 with nobody. It was no pressure. Nobody's paying attention. He just warming up, and it was short. Like I'm talking about, like not short, like it's right there by the ball, by the little bang. Oh, bing. No, I'm talking about like, and when it came up short, I was like, ooh, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. It says, can Fox kick field goals too? I don't know, but they need to try something out, bro. I'm telling you, these balls were short or wide left or right. Like that's how much of an irritation I had. I don't even know why Prater was moved. Me neither. I don't understand why he was moved neither. What I can tell you is this. We got a problem at kicker. And I don't feel confident with our kicker, because the one thing I'm very critical of kickers, punters, and stuff, because you got one job. And when you're out there just for kicks, warming up, and you can't even get it near the damn, I can't. I cannot. Shall not, will not, want. Never understood the Prater hate. They gonna miss him now. I promise you that. They gonna miss Prater now. Because I guarantee you that 54, 55, 56 stuff, we got to go for it. we got to go for it or punt. Them balls wasn't near it. I'm promising you, they was not near it. You could tell the difference between when Fox was kicking and these other guys. Fox, he didn't even really kick the ball on kickoff, and it still went far. Like, I was like, damn, that didn't even like he put no force into it. These other dudes, they was like putting their spirit. They called upon their forefathers' fathers. They called upon their ancestors to go into that leg, and that damn thing still came up short. It was an embarrassment, and I was disgusted by it, and I don't think that should be the case. So I didn't like what I saw out of the kickers. That's our biggest problems. Let me switch gears a little bit, because I got to talk about Jared Goff and this deep pass. And I had to talk to Rams House about this, because Rams House knows his team. He knows what's going on with his team. And I asked him, who was Jared Goff's deep threat? Now, you in the chat, this is y'all's chance to tell me. When he was on the Rams, who was his deep threat? I'll wait. I just want to know, who was his deep threat? When y'all get to that point, let me know. I just want to see who was the deep threat, because I had a hard time finding it, and when I finally found it, I still had questions. All right. Kicker Lich's guy. All right. So let's see. Who's the deep threat? Cooks. Cooper Kupp was not his deep threat. That's just not true. Cooper Kupp was not his deep threat. His tight end is his deep threat. Cooks was his deep threat. When Cooks left, then they started basically working all of the other people into the mix of trying to do it. But none of them really were deep threats. They were slot receivers that would, run routes and get open. So now this idea that Jared Goff don't throw the deep ball and he got low deep ball accuracy and so forth and so on, that now becomes a reality because there was nobody to throw the ball too deep. It's one of the reasons they went out and got Deshaun Jackson for Matthew Stafford. This is the reason why they did that. I look at this team and I say, who's going to be his deep threat? And it has to be Brashard Perryman, right? Now, if Brashard Perryman is not in practice and they're not calling plays for Brashard Perryman to go deep, why don't you think you're going to see a deep pass in practice? And why are you so enamored with the idea of a deep pass in practice when we've had deep passes in practice for years with a quarterback who can throw it deep better than most, and it yielded nothing? Now, I want you to take that part of it and put it together because I'm going to make a statement that's going to come off as blasphemy. And the reason I know it's going to come off as blasphemy is because most of you ain't going to like this, but I told Rams House the same thing. The team that Stafford is on now is no better than the best team he's ever been on the Detroit Lions. What does it got to do with anything? That lets you know how much help they were giving Jared Goff and how much help they were not giving Jared Goff. They thought that they were going to remove the run game and make him be the one to carry the team. That is not Jared Goff's game. That is not what you want from Jared Goff. You don't want Jared Goff to carry the team. You need Jared Goff to just simply not hurt you. He needs to be Dak Prescott. He needs to be Ryan Tannehill. People get mad when I say stuff like this. He got to be Troy Aikman. Just don't lose the game. We're going to run the ball. We don't need you to lose the game. Now, I sat here and I went back and I just happened to look at it. They gave him Sammy Watkins. A guy who was, for the most part, he's just okay. He's okay. He's all right. It's the reason why he on his fourth team. He done moved around a few times. Why? Because Sammy Watkins is not consistent. Even when he gets open, he doesn't consistently pull it in. And when he pulls it in, he doesn't consistently get open. So why am I bringing this up? Jared Goff might actually be in a better situation on the Lions than he was with McVay. Why? Now, some of y'all going to say this is blasphemy, but stay with me. If you look at Jared Goff, first season, we're going to toss that out the window. Jeff Fisher was horrible. You go to that very next season under McVay. They threw the ball deep often, and they ran the ball faithfully. And they played defense, and they turned it around, and they won 11 games. And then the next year, they went to the Super Bowl because they really ran the ball. And they played safe ball, throwing the ball deep when needed to when they loaded the box, and hitting them on intermediate routes for the most part throughout the game. Jared Goff comes to an offense very similar to that, but with more leeway to be free. I'm not saying Jared Goff is better than Stafford. I'm simply making the case that y'all need to get up off of Jared Goff's back and put some respect on his name. Okay? Y'all need to put some respect on his name because one of the things about Jared Goff that stood out to me was Jared Goff at times went under pressure and it looks like, oh, he's not dealing with this well. He's not dealing with that well. Yeah, it's because they changed the way that they were utilizing him. In the first 2 years under McVay, they went to a system very similar to what he did in college. It was come up, 1-2, ball out, or come up, ball out. Like, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. It's a reason why they brought Chad Henson, his former receiver, to Detroit. Because that's what you can get out of him. A guy, and I watched it in practice. He wasn't taking these long 5-step, 7-step drops. This was 1-2, ball out, 1-2-3, ball out. They weren't even calling routes that deserve to be considered long routes. And I was happy. Jared Goff is in a position for him to be the master of his own universe. He just got to not hurt the team. That's it. Just don't hurt the team. Shout out to my man Quincy Bell Sports. He is a Bears fan. I will be having him on when the Lions play the Bears because we got to talk about it. He says Goff was less than useless under Jeff Fisher, and McVay fixed him. I don't think Goff will handle a new environment well. I'm going to tell you why. The new environment is not new. You're still getting ready to run the ball first, which is why when he went from Fisher to McVay, they ran the ball first. So you're still finna do that. The second part of it is this. On top of him still getting that part of it out the way, he is not going to be asked to win games. He's going to be asked not to lose them. There's a difference. The environment has not changed. The environment has not been altered in such a way that makes it so, this is not going to work. But what it does is it allows for him to get a chance to be unleashed. See, he's always been leashed. Oh, throw the ball here. And, go here. I need you to read this person. If it's not open, throw it here. I'm watching him be allowed to pick his targets. He threw one ball. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm the receiver and that was a real game, when I got done with that hit, I would have went over there and punched him in the face. I'm not gonna lie. I saw that. It was like, yo, you can't put the ball there. And the only reason I was critical of it was because I was like, it sets the receiver up. But when I look at it overall, he was the only one open. And it was on the money. And the receiver could have went down because he threw it so he can go down and get it. But the receiver stayed. It would have been an ugly hit. Let me just put it that way. If they could have tackled. Quincy Bell Sports says, who you think is winning the NFC North? Because I think it could be anyone's division. I got the Vikings winning it. I think the Vikings will win the division. But that's going to be dependent upon what happened with Jefferson, who is now allegedly hurt. So, yay or nay. We signed Nick Roby-Coleman. We needed to. We got a lot of injuries. And Friday, we got a game. And we need bodies. So we needed to. Good for them. And TJ is better tight end than Higbee. Well, if you go through, you break it down. If you want to say, Jared Goff had a Sue. Jared Goff had a Sue and Aaron Donald. Well, Stafford had a Sue. Jared Goff's best receiver was always Cooper Kupp. Stafford had Calvin Johnson. He had Golden Tate. Like, I think his receiving core was better in Detroit than it was on the Rams right now. The difference is the Rams receivers are going to have to learn how to get used to these passes coming to them quick. So I get what you're saying. Now, stay with me. If you think to yourself, can Jared Goff be Ryan Tannehill? The Lions would be okay. And the reason for that is because you're trying to get a person to manage the game. You don't need him to be anything other than a game manager. You don't need him to reinvent the wheel. You don't need him to go out and change the way things work. You just need to get it done. Now, the other news that came out is the starters will play one full quarter of football, and they're done. So you get one quarter to watch the starters. Pay close attention. Anzarike is being kept under wraps. Somebody had suggested this, and I went, that would be shocking if it was. And the more I look at it, yeah, I think that's true. Because he did a really good job of getting push on the people he was going up against one-on-one. And, I'm like, okay, I can see it happening. I know that was scary, Jimbo G, and it appears to already have chemistry, 2 touchdowns in the scrimmage. Yeah, they already connected, so it's working. Detroit on offense runs max protection will help Goff. Don't need to go deep. You just don't. You got guys who can route run. Like I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Now, I'm leaving up these words because I want people to hold Calvin to this. When y'all see Calvin, he said, hey, you said this your home. You said Detroit's your city, and we your pride. We want you back. Fix it. So I'm leaving it up there for a little bit longer because the ultimate goal is to get that. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal. And it's doable. It's very doable and feasible if you just handle your business. Now, remember I was doing this all season long? Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this? I'm going to be doing this a whole lot. I want y'all to focus on that. Option B, Goff, Sewell, anybody, or Goff, anybody, and then you can get Pitts, Waddles, or Smith. I think option A is going to hit, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm watching the offensive line, and there was a few times where the D-line is really trying to get there, and they had rush 4, and Goff moved over a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and it just was perfect protection. I still see them getting their loins together and run blocking, but God, it like he had time. It looked like he had time. And this is why I think when you look at this team, this is clearly the best offensive line Jared Goff has ever had. Hands down. Now, is it the best coaching staff? That's debatable. Is this the best receiving core Goff has had? Probably not. But what's different between this receiving core and the one he had? Realistically. Goff is going to be all right. You just need him to manage the games. You don't need him to do anything else. Now, let me see if I can bring this up. So I saw this article and it pissed me off. All right, people, it pissed me off. And I think it's about how you view things. So there's an article on Chargers Wire. Is that how you? Yeah, Chargers Wire. That's what it's called. All right. There's an article on there that is basically taking a shot at Anthony Lynn. And the reason this stood out to me is because it's garbage. Now, I want to try my best not to completely destroy and kill the media. But this is garbage because if a person understood this, they would know that this is BS. They would know that this article doesn't really hold a lot of weight. So, let's get to this. Former Charger coach Anthony Lynn still stuck in running ways. I want y'all to think about that for a moment because they could have talked about anything else. And I know you're covering the Chargers, but he's not there no more. And the difference between him as a coordinator versus a head coach are two different things. Don't believe me? Look at Rob Marinelli. Look at Jim Schwartz, who Calvin Johnson didn't mention neither, but was still in attendance and he made stand up. So for those who are tripping about him not saying something about Stafford name, put it in perspective. All right. Now they come up with this article. And I'm reading this because I'm irritated. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be something good. After 4 seasons together, the Los Angeles Chargers decided to move on from Anthony Lynn. Overall record with the team was not bad, and he helped lead one of the most successful Chargers teams since this century in 2018. However, his decision-making in close games was very obviously holding this team back. It was more than just the bang-bang decisions on when to call a timeout or challenge a play. Now stay with me real quick. I'm going to go back before I move forward. Everything he's talking about is the head coach, Lynn, not the coordinator. Not the coordinator, not the guy who did his job as a coordinator, which made him a head coach. It's the head coach. He talks about his decision-making on how to run offense, shutting up anytime the team was up to allow a comeback, or even worse, not even the guy preparing between a terrible special teams unit in 2 instances where the Chargers could not get a play off in the red zone. Now, all of this is lended to the head coach. Now, this is what brought him here. Anthony Lynn said it all started on the ground for his offense. Sounds like the at-Lions rookie wideouts gets it. Play action is huge, so he can establish a good run game. I think the shots will come later. Now, he goes on to say, Anyone that watched the Chargers last year know that Anthony Lynn's line of thinking is wrong. How in the hell is his line of thinking wrong when the teams who are winning are running the ball and playing defense? How is his thinking wrong? Because you play fantasy football and you want to see more passes? Why is it wrong? What's wrong with it? It says this is an old football mantra. Really? Okay. Oh, old football mantra, y'all. I want y'all to stay with this. This is where I get irritated. All right. I got to cover this up so I can show you something. This is an old mantra. This is what they say. Watch this, people. Hold on. Watch this. Where is it at? I got to find it. Let me put this up here for right now. All right. So he said this is an old mantra, meaning that this idea that Russian wins and stuff like that. So, okay. I am going to go and look at a very particular team. Yes, I'm going to look at that team because I think that is relevant to what I'm going to talk about. So we got to look at it. Let's see, right here. Bam, here we go. All right. Let me bring this back up. Okay. This old way of thinking. We can't have that. Here we go. That's the Tennessee Titans, people. Now, I don't think nobody, and I do mean nobody, has ever said Ryan Tannehill is like the next great quarterback going in the NFL. I don't think nobody said that. I don't believe that was a conversation. I just don't see it happening. But let's talk about it. How many games did this team win? 11-5. Shocking. Remember, I told y'all we just need to manage the game. They were 4th out of all 32 teams in points for. 4th. 24th out of 32 to go 11-5. Stay with me, people. They were ranked 30th in pass attempts, 23rd in passing yards. They were second in rushing attempts, second in rushing yards, second in rushing touchdowns, second in yards per attempt. And went 11-5. This is an old way of thinking. Why are the Titans doing it? Why are you not able to show examples outside of the guy that you hate because you feel like you didn't get everything you deserve to get out of him? We're not talking about the coordinator. We're talking about the head coach. Now, if we had assigned him as the head coach and people had a problem with it, I would let them have their view. We're talking about the coordinator. Let's go back to the year before that. Since, this is an old way of thinking. They went 9-7, still was 10th in the top 10 of points for, and they still wasn't the best passing team, but they were really good in running the ball, and this is an old way of thinking. So here's one team. This is not even going to be fair. Watch this. We're just going to go on over here, and we're just going to go ahead and go right here, and let's see what the Ravens did, because, we love to talk about the Ravens, right? Like we just can't help ourselves. So Ravens 2020. Let's look at Ravens 2020. Let's look at them. Since this is an old way of thinking, because I want to look at the teams who are winning with this old way of thinking. See, this is what happens when you just can't get your emotions out the way. Football is a part of emotions, but you got to be objective. Now, this team went 11-5. They were in the top 10 of points scored. Passing attempts, 32nd. Passing yards, 32nd. Number 1 in rushing, number 1 in yards. Oh. So running can win you games. And I can keep going with this. But this guy said that this is an old football mantra that simply does not hold up in the modern game. We already know you discredit yourself with that. I gave you 2 examples and could have gave you more. But this is not what this is about. The pass game is more important than ever. While it's obviously important to have a good run game, every successful team in the league has to first establish a good pass game. I'm glad he said that. Let's go take a look at a particular team that I think we should definitely take a look at, because you want to make sure you establish passing, right? Let's look at the, Falcons. Let's look at them, right? Let's look at the damn Falcons. I don't want that, right? And let's just take a gander. Because if you're talking about this is going to change the way you do things, then it should make sense, right? We should clearly be able to see that, right? 16th in points for. Shocking. Right? 4th in passing attempts. 5th in yards. 20th in rushing and 27th in rushing yards. What if they record? 4 and 12. 4 and 12. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more. This for the people who say that I'm hard of hearing and that I got to drive points home for no reason because it's necessary. But I have to because this is the kind of stuff that I see. And I ask myself, are you talking about the coordinator or the head coach? So let's just look at, I don't know, passing. Matter of fact, let's go to teams. Let's go to teams. I don't want them to say I'm cheating the numbers. I don't want to say that. Let's look at yards because that's essentially what they're saying. You got to set it up with the pass first, right? So the Chiefs were number 1 in passing yards. The Texans were number 2. And we know the Texans didn't have a good record. We know the Chiefs had a good record. We know the Bills had a good record. And they ran up against the damn Bucks who knew how to stop a one-dimensional passing team. You see, if they just kept running the ball, this wouldn't have been a problem. This wouldn't have been a problem at all. Hell, even our Lions are in the top 10 in passing yards. It yielded us 5 wins. What the hell is he talking about? The problem with Lynn is his stubbornness to turn to the run even when it was not working. Austin Eckler missed significant time last season. Joshua Kelly was downright awful. Multiple other injuries occurred to the running backs, and the offensive line was horrible. The line was always horrible. That don't mean you start running the damn ball. You just don't stop running the ball. Okay. What is he talking about? Somebody help me. Somebody help me make sense of this. What the hell is he talking about? What is he talking about? I don't understand this. The court. Did y'all forget that there was times where the head coach Jim Caldwell was like, "Oh, he can't do this," but the coordinator was good. There was time where Jim Schwartz as a head coach, like, okay, he was good as a coordinator. The same with Rob Marinelli. Why aren't they talking about the coordinator? Why are they focusing on things that don't have anything to do with anything? I'm showing in real time the teams who ran the ball and won, but you're telling me it's an old man's or old way of thinking mantra. Look at this. Go look at the Russian. Let's go and look at the Russian. Look at this. Rushing yards. Ravens, 3,000. Good record. Titans, 2690. Good record. Browns, 2374. Good record. Patriots, who did end up becoming one-dimensional because not only could they not pass the ball due to their quarterback being out for COVID, they probably would have had a better record had he not been out for COVID. But it happened. Vikings, another team, had injuries. But to sit there and say that this is an old way of thinking, most of these teams made it to the damn playoffs. Go to the bottom. Texans, did they make the playoffs? Nope. Lions, nope. Jacksonville, nope. Oh, you want to tell me the Bucks? You want to talk about the Bucks? The Bucks picked up the running game the moment that they released Leonard Fournette, and they now added Leonard Fournette to the fold. They ran the ball. So this is a misleading number, but to show you that in real time they got better. But this team didn't make it. Look at this. The majority of the bottom teams rushing didn't make it nowhere. You gotta be 100% behind the rusher. So to come up with this article, it's a joke. He goes on and says, according to Warren Sharp's football stats, the LA Chargers had the 10th highest first down run rate in the league, calling the run play 53% of the time on first down. The success rate was 42%, averaging 3.9 yards per carry. I don't know about y'all, right? But you get 4 downs. 4 downs. If you get 3 yards on first, that's 2nd and 7. If you get 3 yards on second, that's 3rd and 4. I like 3rd and 4. I don't know about this dude, but 3rd and 4 sounds good to me. Now, he goes on to say every other team in the top 14 in terms of first down runs rate had at least a 45% success rate. Most were. Now, let's start. Let me show you something. Let me show y'all something. This is nitpicking. 42%, 45. We really finna talk about 3%, bro? Really? Really, though? Why do they do stuff like this? Why? Why do they do stuff like this? There's no reason for this to happen. It doesn't make sense. I want the guy who runs the ball first. It matters to me. Because when we won, we ran the ball first too. Here, don't believe me? Let me show you. See, sometimes examples work out better. See, I can say something to my face is blue. It ain't going to help nothing if it ain't making a difference. Let's look at 1991 Detroit Lions. Let's look at that team, right? I'm just curious. They went 12 and 4. They were 9th in points for, 11th in points against. Okay. Where were they ranked in passing? 24th in attempts, 22nd in yards. Okay. 11th in rushing attempts, 10th in rushing yards, 2nd in rushing touchdowns. Okay. So why is this important? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a quick gander. Your starting quarterbacks. This guy got hurt and was out. He had 5 touchdowns and 9 interceptions from Rodney Peete before he got hurt. Kramer, and he was 59.8%. That's beautiful. Kramer comes in. Got 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Was not good. He was not good in no stretch of the imagination. Right? Like, there's no way of getting around it. But you know what was good? This 1548 from freaking Barry Sanders. Listen, hold on, people. Y'all miss it. The history been telling us how to do it, and we just be doing the opposite. Look at this. This man had 342 rushing attempts. You can't tell me that on all 342 rushing attempts he got positive yards, because we know that's BS. We know that. He had more rushing attempts than either one of our singular running backs, and we got to the NFC Championship game with that. Well, Luke, we ain't got a Barry Sanders. Okay. But we got a DeAndre Swift, and we got something that's very shockingly in common with Barry Sanders. Look at this. When's the last time you heard about a Lions quarterback getting sacked this little? 25 times between 2 quarterbacks? 25 times. When's the last time that happened? You know why? Because they ran a damn ball, and the line did enough for them to have lanes. We have repeated history. I don't understand how he comes with this article, feeling good, pulling some numbers from nowhere. Where did this come from? Now it says it probably does make more sense to run it more in Detroit with DeAndre Swift at running back. Which one is it? Is he stuck in his ways and he's not good at this, or it makes more sense? And if it makes more sense, why are you writing the article? See, this is why I get confused at. It says it didn't make sense with the LA Chargers, and that is why he was fired. That is not why he was fired. He was fired because they thought, hey, he's gotten us as far as he can get us. Somebody else can do the job better. You're going to find out that's true soon enough. But that has nothing to do with the coordinator. It don't. The idea that the game of football is still determined by who can run the ball better. clutching on to the hope that the old game of football will return. And he did all that talking to get here and say it probably does make more sense to run the ball in Detroit with DeAndre Swift. Am I alone in this? Am I alone in this? Like I'm having a hard time. I'm having a real hard time. And the reality is this. The reality is at the end of the day, At the end of the day, boom. Let me do that. Hold on. I gotta treat people like idiots. All right. Now I got that idiot up out of here. All right. I got that idiot up out of here. Let me go through and do some things. Let me see who win the building. I need some moderators to shut this one up. I cannot. I cannot. Let's see. Ghost Gunner. Congratulations, sir. Let me see who was in here. That dude. Y'all thought saying stuff like that? Get him out of here. Swiftly. Let's see who else is in here. There you go. Jimbo G. Congratulations, sir. Y'all thought saying stuff like that? Get him up out of here. The ridiculousness of some people. And they're going to come with another account. But let me, you know what? Let me see if I can. One. The best thing y'all can do is when y'all see those comments is report it. Report it so that channel gets completely destroyed. And then they got to go and spend some hours doing something else. Report it as harassment. Let me see. All right, and now he should be blocked. All right, now got that out the way. He thought he was smart. Yeah, report it. Report it when that stuff happens because they are just dumb. 100%. Now, can somebody answer to me? How in the hell is it possible for a person to have this view and in the same breath turn around and just 100% just be like, you know what? Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Now, let me switch it up one more notch before I get up out because I want to get some questions too. I want to get some questions too. So 100% of the time, I want to make sure we knock this out. The last thing I want to touch on is this. And to me, this is the person that I think we're not talking about enough. This is somebody that I believe needs to be talked about, but they not being talked about enough. So stay with me. I need for people to understand something. This is a season where you have been told to be patient. This is a season where you should have high expectations. Okay? Because when you don't have high expectations, you're going to continue to 100% find yourself in a position where one, you're not going to really be able to gauge this team. You're not going to be able to say, oh, I wish this would do this, or I wish this would do that. You're not going to be able to do it. There's no way of doing it. And if you don't, it doesn't make sense. That's not Rams house. I've talked to Rams house 100 times. That is not Rams house at all. I guarantee you that. Hands down, that's not Rams house. So now, any questions you guys have, put them in there. While you getting your questions together, I'm going to make sure I handle this. Apparently, he got a lot of accounts. That's amazing. So I don't know how he got so many, but he got a lot of accounts. So I'm blocking him every time he posts something. Yep. So I'm blocking them as they come in. So any questions you guys got, let me know. Improve your mind. I always like your name. So let's go to it. I can't give dumb people energy. It's against my nature. It's just like you want to come in here to be disruptive. Okay. Like, it makes me no difference. But like, spare me the ridiculousness. I keep a few haters. If you don't have a few, then you got to ask yourself what you're doing wrong. Now, any questions you have for me? Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, first question up. Okay. Where is it? Should we be worried about our linebackers, Luke? Nope. And I'm going to tell you why. The way they're going to utilize them is going to, any deficiencies they have is going to be hidden. It just is. There's no way of getting around it. So I'm not concerned with them because, like I said, they're still doing good now, and we're not even. Derek Barnes is not on the field. He got some type of lingering hamstring injury, right? We just got Jalen Reeves-Maybin back, and in the meantime, all you've been hearing is how Pittman and Deion Hamilton has been performing. So you can't lose that. Luke, how should we feel with the Vikings COVID stuff? Good. Not good that the players got it, but good because they can be starting off the season real rough. And that's good for us. Plus, it's not even just that. I'm hearing that Jefferson is hurt. That's the last thing I checked, that Jefferson is hurt. I'm like, oh, he hurt for real, for real? Let me see. This is what happened on every Giovanni's page. You got to keep a hater. Okay. Ignorance is bliss with some people. Yeah. Or just ignorance. Hey, Luke, do you think the Lions will reach out to James Washington? They better not. Listen, what's the difference between James Washington and Golden Tate? Is age. That's it. Same player. One of them you can get in free agency. The other one you got to trade up an asset for. They bad not. They just bad not. I don't see that being the case, Omar. Let me see. What else? Let me make sure I ain't missed nobody question. We are doing something right if we got trolls is trying to stop us. Of course. No problem. I got you. I reported him. He is pissed, Luke, as you about your catch-up promotion. Bro, what catch-up, man? I'm not going to play with you. I wonder how tough that guy would be if he wasn't behind the keyboard. They generally are not tough. They generally living at home with their parents, and that's probably what it is. Luke versus Mobby, that would be a crazy show. I would be down for it if he can do it sensibly. So if he ever want to do it, I'm open to it. But he had to do it sensibly. But I don't know if you noticed or not, he's not a fan of me. He doesn't like me. He apparently to him, I don't know football. Even though I've played it for a number of years, and so I guess I don't know nothing. My stuff aged really well, though. Who is going to be the backup tight end? I was having this conversation with somebody. I don't think they're going to carry a third tight end, and this is the reason why. The injuries with the receivers is a concern, and so I know receivers come a dime a dozen, but how often are they going to use 3 tight end sets? And how often are they going to use Mac in the mix? Now they used them in the 2s, in a few times on the 3s, but I don't see how he makes a team. I think they carry another receiver, and I could be wrong. It's the manager of the car rental company in Arizona. Who? What in the world? The fresher you are, the more they hate. Hey, let it be. Not worry about the edge. It says the wheel and mic are what I'm concerned about. I'm not. I feel like Alex Anzalone is a step slow to spots from what I can see, but I feel like we got people who can be a step faster. So I'm not panicked yet. Think our front 7 is going to be solid. I agree. The Lions would get their kicker in preseason. I am praying you right, because right now there is no way, and I mean no way, I'm happy about the kickers going into this season. That has got to be priority for us big time. Let me see. Luke, what do you think of Tavai? I thought Tavai looked decent out there. I thought he did look faster. But that would make sense when you drop weight and you're not carrying around as much. I think with him, it's the mental part of it. At times, I've seen in his college film where he was decisive about his move and took off. Now, when you drop him in coverage and you're asking him to make a lot of decisions, it didn't look as crisp as I seen with the other linebackers, and that's part of it. That's part of a problem. But overall, I think it's still something there that might be worth investing if you wanted to just like not lose anything. Luke, what is the strongest ketchup bottle to use to ensure no explosion happens? Wow. I don't know. You got to y'all in rare form today. I mean, seriously. Let's see. SpeakEZ in the building. What up, dude? Dan Spanato? That's it right? Spanatos? I probably botched that. I know I botched your last name. I suck at this. What do you think is the strongest group on the team? Defensive line, offensive line, receivers, etc. After that, we've seen a trade camp with the new info. Onwuzurike is already being called a bust. I don't know how they call Onwuzurike a bust. I really don't. I saw power, and when he was doing his one-on-one drills, the strongest position to me is running backs, in my opinion. And that's on offense. On defense, it has to be the D-line. I think with the way that you have the variety of D linemen who can do different things and still win their one-on-ones, it's back to being a strength. It certainly is not as slow as it used to be under Patricia, but those would be my two. If you ask me what the weakest is, I would have told you safety. Safety gonna get bumped down because we need a kicker. You can't kick 55 or 50 yards, I got a problem. RIP Big 12. Okay, Rams house is blocked. That's not Rams house. 100% it is not Rams house. Like 100% not Rams house. Cracking the F up. They killing me with these damn catch-up jokes. I don't know what they talking about. Let me see. Seeing the Rams don't have good linebackers with number one defensive linebackers may not be that important. They important, but I get what you're saying. Levi's just buried in depth chart. Han and Nick Williams are playing well. I think Nick Williams would be out the door, and I think Onwuzurike would get playing time. You took him second. You were getting ready to trade up for him. I think they just keeping him under wraps and are going to move him in situationally until he gets his confidence build up. Are you banned from Heinz Field, Luke? You gonna really join this Patty party? Come on, bro. Y'all making Patty LaBelle look shameful. Stop playing. If we play this is playing on both sides of the ball, we can steal 3 wins to put us around 9 or 10 wins this year. I agree, Carl, 100%. Because think about it. The worst team with the worst defense still got 5 wins. Still got 5. That's almost impossible. Luke, if James Prowl gets cut from the Ravens, should the Lions pick him up? James Prowl? That name is not ringing a bell to me. So I had to look him up. James Prowl. I'm trying to see if I remember who this is. Let me see. Oh, that's the receiver. I don't know enough about him to say pick him up or not, but I'll go watch some more film on him and let you know. But I don't know enough about him. His name don't even jump out to me. He 5'11". Okay, not bad. He played 1 season, 23. He had 23 returns for almost 200 yards. Where the hell is his receiving at? Right here. That man was targeted 3 times and caught 1 pass. If he gets cut, I don't know whose spot is he taking. Like whose spot is he taking? I don't have a problem with them adding receivers if it don't cost you nothing. But whose spot is he taking? Dan is going to have the same energy in preseason as the last game in the season. I can see that. Dan was hyped at the damn practice. He said he needs us to be the gasoline for that fire pit. Who impressed you most out of the rookies when you went to watch the team, and why was it Aline McNeil? Well, the person who impressed me the most, surprisingly, boy, I cannot believe I'm saying this, was Will Harris. He looked different. He like people, y'all like listen to me. It sounds crazy, but he looks different. The biggest thing is he seems to understand where the ball is going. He impresses me the most, but that's probably because he didn't have much to do. Outside of him, I would go on offense that impressed me the most was hands down Amon-Ra St. Brown. A dark horse would be Mills because I saw Mills had good vision and cut it out. On special teams, that Khalif Raymond is fast. Like that dude fast. He got some. It's gonna be some reverse plays called with him. He fast. I seen him make a cut and didn't even lose speed. That was very impressive. Rams had one of the worst linebackers in the NFL last year, and we were still number one. It still makes a difference. Still need them linebackers. I had asked about James Washington. They don't need to. You think we need Trey Boston for 2 years, $2.5 million, or no? I don't like Trey because at that point, you're bringing Trey in to play a role that they got two people to do that. Dean Marlowe and Will Harris is essentially Trey Boston. They're the same. They play the same style. If you're going to add that other safety, I want to see somebody who got a little bit more intelligence and a little bit more savvy. So I would probably say no to that. He's a 40-year-old living down in the basement of his parents' house. 100% he has to be. Darren Fells is a beast. Yeah, he's going to be a problem too because he's going to actually get used, unlike Jesse James. Jesse James would have been good for us if we used him. No, he's likely just a kid. Got to give him time to mature. Let's see. Let me see. What else is on here? Let me go through. Hear my babies cry. Uh-oh. Let's see. Do you think they'll convert Hunter Bryant from tight end to receiver? No, I think he'll get cut. See, the problem with Bryant is this. You're not healthy. And Mac is looking really good in that same role. So you're not available? He is? Then you're out. Let's see. What do you mean expect? What do you expect versus Buffalo, Luke? The first thing I'm expecting towards Buffalo is for them to play fast. That's it. I want to see them play fast. I want to see the sideline in it. I want to see people committed to the cause. I just want to see a faster playing team. I don't care if they score. I don't care if they get stops. Can you play faster? Can you be more engaged when you get a one-on-one? We're not winning the one-on-ones over the last few years, and it sucks. Let me see. Well, yeah, I don't know. I remember he made a video basically saying how much of a genius Matt Patricia is. And I was like, oh, a genius? And there's no way I believe that. I never believed that. After that one game, I was done. I was like, pack it up. We got to follow the same suit of the Cardinals. I'm on record for saying it. I'm like, I don't need 3 years to see what this is about to be. This dude is terrible. There was just these small coaching decisions and stuff. But yeah, I remember he made this video and, you know, he made a few videos. I remember he did call, a bridge quarterback. And I'm like, he's not a bridge quarterback. It wasn't like he was on toss in. So catch-up promotion was hilarious. I don't know what y'all talking about. Leave that Arizona manager alone. It's not his fault, Luke. Murder at catch-up. But man, what is going on? Y'all ain't got no man. I gotta work through this. Y'all trying to what's this, the Get Indicted podcast? No. What is it? Yeah, he added letters. Let's see. No, man. Who else needs an 8-ball of hopium and pray we just win week one? I think we win week one convincingly. I really do. It's just too much going in our favor. They're saying that, Bosa is back on track to being able to start for week 1 of the season. Okay. I hope he's there too, so when we win, I don't want no excuses. But they also said that the quarterback, Trey Flowers, is not ready. That he's grossly just not there. Spanios. Got it. I ain't got to botch it. I suck at names, y'all. Sorry. No, that's not Rams House at all. Not at all. We talk on the regular. It's not him. Our kickers will get a nice contract, but he will get a few-year contract at least. They might draft one. They're going to make it happen. They got to do something. Kickers scared the hell out of me. I still don't know how it wasn't nobody running towards him. Wasn't nobody on his left. Wasn't nobody on his right. It wasn't a coach around. He just took a shot, and it is indoors. You can't blame it on the wind. You can't say it was the crowd volume. You can't say none of that. It was indoors. It was just short. Terrible. He never pronounced it right, but I don't care. I suck. And I'm not even doing it on purpose. I just suck with names. I'm sorry. My bad if I did. There was so much spam. Yeah. We have to. You get too serious, so we have to cut up, or you're going to die of a No. No, I'm not taking no coronaries or no strokes or anything like that. You know, gonna knock on wood. Okay, cool. You couldn't do that, so whatever. Block him, unblock. Let's see. Let me see. Let me make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. I'm gonna make sure I hit on every question if I can. Yeah, it was an accident. Luke, everybody getting Luke for ignoring me, ignoring people. I ain't ignoring nothing, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't even like tomatoes. I keep telling y'all that. He's not ignoring you, Jimbo. He just doesn't know what to do with you. Luke, don't be surprised if we trade one of our players for a later round pick for a kicker. Will Harris don't sound shocking. You seeing them in person. I was watching him. He was covering TJ a few times. And one of them I said TJ did a really good job of a real smooth push off, but it worked and it wasn't called by the referees. And so I was like, okay, cool. But for the most part, he was in position to make a play. And I was like, oh, that's different. And I'm starting to really think that maybe, just maybe, Patricia was that bad. Yeah, that Khalif dude is different, bro. That dude is a whole different beast. Let's see. He wouldn't be able to finish his show if he spent his time clowning with you. No, man, I'm telling you. He be having jokes. Luke, you are going to do a 53-player prediction after the preseason game too, or who you think is going to be on the bubble at the game. I'm going to do my 53-man prediction after game 1, 2, and then I'll give you my final one at the 3 because I had it broken up into like 3. So I was like taking them off piece by piece. I pretty much know who the receiving core are going to be. I thought it says thoughts on Lions signing Nick Roby Coleman. It was needed. It was necessary. We had Corey Elder out with an injury. We had Quinton Dunbar out with Dunbar out with an injury. And you really were starting to get closer to you using your real starters all day, every day in practice. You needed somebody to come in. And he's already familiar with what's going on in terms of the Rams stuff. So that's what that is. Let's see. I saw that we just signed him. But it makes sense. Do I think he make the final 53? He gonna have to ball out come preseason. And so I feel you on that. I just cleared up people. Trey Boston rumors, Luke. Yeah, we done with the Trey Boston. It doesn't make sense. Are the Lions going to use Aleem McNeil at running back? I hope they do. Oh my God. So looking at him, he's huge. Like, he's freaking huge. Brockers is taller than him and more lean, but he's still huge. But the boy can move. Like, God, he can move. So I hope they do. Something tell me they're going to do it. Something tell me they're going to do it. Let's see. Remember when Mike Daniels said Patricia was a defensive genius when he signed here? I doubt he feels the same way after he played for us. Man, Mike Daniels was trying to be a part of the culture. And then he got hurt. And like most bad coaches, he got tossed under the bus. So, yeah, I doubt he'll say that too. Mama always said, he's so smart, he's stupid. It's raining like crazy. Trust me, I know. I got caught in that. Let's see. 49 quarterback Trey Flowers, Luke. Trey Flowers. What did I say his name? Oh, Trey Lance. Jesus. Y'all gotta excuse me. I was on call yesterday, so I've been out since 3 a.m. So let's see. Who would you go out and get to be a kicker, and what price are you willing to pay? Right now, I'm willing to trade for one. That's how bad I was. Like, I'm like, who in the hell? Where's Matt Prater? Matter of fact, I gotta Google this. Where the hell is Matt Prater back? Because I need to go and apologize to him. Okay, I need to apologize to smooth things over because I just 50 yards, and you coming up short. Nope, not gonna work for me. Let's see, where is he at? On the damn Cardinals. Damn it! Who in the hell got a kicker? I'm willing to take anybody. I'm serious. Them short. It was either short or left or right, and it scared me. You put wrench on everything. Do you put wrench on your catch up? Oh my, Charles, no, Charles, don't do that. Don't join them on this crazy thing. Don't do them. Don't do that. And no, I don't put wrench on catch up. I don't even eat tomatoes. Matthew Stafford burned Trey Flowers was face as much NFL talent as a good quarterback as Trey Lance, to be fair. The spotlight got in his eye. Let's see. I think Khalif is definitely a hidden gem. Yeah, I seen Prater is on the Cardinals. I want to puke. Oh, I want to puke. I'll take him back so bad. Listen, them balls wasn't even near that goalpost. We about to be kicking 45 and out, and I'm still scared about 45, man. Bro, I'm serious. When I tell you I was trying to figure out, like, I'm like, maybe somebody ran by or cut a fan on or something. I'm like, what the hell? Maybe we should go and sign YouTubers who used to kick in college. I'll take it. As long as they can get it from 50. And if it would have just got down there, I wouldn't have cared. It wasn't even getting down, bro. Fox was still punting that thing like so far. And I'm looking at the kickers and I'm like, this is terrible. Yes, you did. You did tell me that Raymond was something else. Once I started doing more film study on him and looking at the possibilities, I knew he was going to make the team. But when you see him in person and he made that, let me tell you, he came down the middle, started teetering off to the left hard, full speed, hard, and didn't even stop and cut right while everybody got blocked. And granted, I don't know if somebody would have fought through a block or not, but the amount of speed that he showed when he cut that thing back to the right and was out, I was like, oh, God. And this is how you know it's bad. We have another guy whose name I cannot pronounce. I know it's Nigerian. It's like, I'm not even playing with it. He ran one. I'm like, oh, he looked kind of fast. And then Khalif ran, and I was like, oh, no, that's different. That boy is fast. So, yeah, I don't see I don't see how he cannot make the team. On a call at 3 a.m. and can't show your face. Are you a hitman, Luke? If I was there, you think I would admit that here? y'all try to get me indicted for real. But I can assure you, no, I'm not. I'm late, but I'm here. I will rewind what's spoken on, brother. 100%, James Taylor. Appreciate you for being here and showing up. Luke, tap the pickle, G. Does Big V keep his spot the entire year? Yes. 100%, yes. I mean, barring injury, yeah, I don't see a reason who's going to unseat him. That's the problem. Damn, the kicker was that bad. The kickers was bad, bro. It was nobody on the field with him. It was just him, the snapper, the holder, and he had a chance to kick that thing, and it wasn't even near the goalpost. It came up short. And even when they had to do the kick from a distance in the extra scrimmage, it came up short again. Like, short enough that I saw that it was going to be short. Like, it wasn't even close. You couldn't even play that slow music where it'd be like, dun, 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 dun. You couldn't even play that music because you saw it coming short the moment it started to drop. You're like, this is not going to make it. And then the next time he did it, it was like left, or I'm going to see, I'm sitting facing him. So yeah, it would be my right, his left. It was bad. It really was. Offense needs to make sure that the kicker only on the field for extra points, and that's the truth. That is the truth. Yeah. Man, I'm not playing with you, Stafford. I hope you touched on Calvin Johnson not calling Matthew's name out directly. Seems like a shade to me. I did touch on it, and it's not shade. He invited him to the ceremony. He did not name any player individually, but all of them were there. He didn't name Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz was there. He said all of my coaches, the one that stood out to him the most were those people, like he said, when he's in high school, his best friend, but he didn't name nobody. He called himself trying to diss the Lions, in quote unquote, by not saying the Lions, but he had to say the Lions when he said the Lions fans, and we are fans of the Lions, and therefore you still mention them. So even in your attempt to not promote or acknowledge the Lions, you still did. It's called perception. But him not directly acknowledging Matthew Stafford didn't bother me one bit. If Stafford wasn't there and he wasn't acknowledged, I'd have said, oh, wow, that's suspect. But Stafford was there, and the camera was on him, and Stafford was happy for him, and he was happy that Stafford was there. So there was nothing to see there. I think it's just been overblown by everybody else. Let me see. He says, well, that chat has been lit tonight. Yeah, we had a few mishaps. Raymond runs great deep routes. Titans put him in as running back a few times because he's fast, and it's so misleading you don't even realize it. The Mike Ford wheelless hype train seems to be going quiet. Listen, because Ford was getting cooked in practice. He was getting cooked on some plays, and I didn't see him make too many when I was watching. But, hey, it is what it is. All right, let me see. And everybody has to make rent. I understand it. All right, let me see. Man, I just got at Jimbo T. Listen, people. Let me give you my final thoughts. Y'all have been awesome today. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me, having fun with me. I hope if you came late, go back, watch the rewind. I kind of went over a few different things. I talked about the Calvin Johnson debacle from both aspects and both parts. Then I kind of touched on the other thing. We had a few distractions, but we took care of it thanks to a great community. Talked about my experience when I went to the practice and what I saw and things that stood out to me and didn't. We really got a problem at kicker. We better be scoring because if I'm just scared. I feel like we got to be kicking 35 and up for us to get that thing in there. If it's longer than 35, I'm worried. You know me. I can't end a show no other way than on a positive note. It is time for you to embrace the pain. It is time for you to embrace the pain. Y'all spending too much time. I get it. Y'all spending too much time trying to avoid the pain. Why? I have learned over the years that each time I've went through something that was painful, a new part of me was built. It was never about how hard it was or how easy it was or if it happened or if it didn't happen or why it happened to me. It was about my journey to a new version of me. Every time I went through pain and survived it, a new part of me was created. That new part of me that was created somehow led me down a road to prevent somebody else from experiencing that pain. But then I realized something. That was a mistake. It was not my job to prevent them from experiencing that pain. It was my job to help guide them through it so they can find that new part of them. When someone comes to you with a problem, rather than try to fix it, rather than try to give them an answer, simply listen. And when you are done listening to them, ask them one simple question. What are you going to do about it? You've already survived the hardest parts of it. What are you going to do about it? You've already been through the most difficult, challenging parts of it. What are you going to do about it? And when they go, I don't know, what do you think I should do? You revert that question back to them. What do you think you should do? Because the pain is what made you who you are. It's why you're here. This ain't your first time dealing with the pain. This won't be your last time dealing with the pain. You need to embrace the pain, because every time you embrace the pain, you become something different. You become something almost metaphorically as a way of saying a butterfly. The cocoon is being built, and when you come out totally different every single time. When the eye of the storm came, you laughed at it. This is what happens when you are willing to just embrace the pain. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and I will be back at it tomorrow with another video, going live, talking Detroit Lions. I'm going to do this, hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't get calls. Hopefully, I'll do this all the way up until the first game against the Buffalo Bills without incident, and I will definitely be live on the first day of the Bills, hopefully with some gas to get her done. It says, pain is watching Desmond. Shout out to Steve Collins from Roar of the Lions UK. He says, pain is watching Desmond play cornerback 1 in 2020. I told people, but they didn't want to hear it. As always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your